Finding car deals is the #1 skill a car flipper needs to learn to make the most money. So today, I'm trying to find two of the cheapest deals on Facebook Marketplace. And after buying tons of cars over the last 6 years of flipping cars, I've made 3 rules that we'll be following today to find flips that are gonna make us the most money. They have to be under $3,000, less than 220,000 miles, and they can't have any major problems. Let's just start with the first car. It's $1,900 for a 2002 Jeep with 168,000 miles. It says an injection error or OBD and a misfire. That's too many problems for us, so we're gonna keep looking. What about this one? It's $1,500 for a Chevy Cruze with 147,000 miles. The description says I'm selling it because I'm changing states, and the plates are expired, but all it needs is a detail. There's only 2 pictures. That looks pretty bad, but it does look like it can probably come off. It needs the headlights to be repainted, and you can see the bumper's not perfectly attached, but that's not that big of a problem. And in the only other picture, we can't see anything else wrong with it. So this right here could be a good deal, and since he's moving states, he probably needs to get rid of it quickly. So that's why it's priced so good. And we probably could negotiate it down even more. This car actually seems like a great deal. The only problem is that the plates are expired, and that costs like $200. So I'm gonna message this guy and I'll show you what I wrote. But what I wrote is, hey, the car looks great. Is there anything wrong with it at all, even anything minor? Thanks. Because he already said in the description that there wasn't anything wrong with it, but saying anything minor, maybe might mention a few things, I don't know. And if he responds to this message good, I'll ask him for the plate number so I can buy a Carfax on it, and I'll definitely go buy this car if everything checks out. This one looked good, but it has a transmission issue, so we're just gonna keep looking for a better deal. These two look pretty cheap, $750, 170,000 miles. It has a radiator leak, and that's all he says is wrong, but you can see there's a crashed up right there. It's not perfectly aligned. If it was just a radiator leak, it would be fine, but it seems like it has more wrong. And he said you needed to tow it. I'm not sure if that's because it was overheating or whatever. But this one is also cheap. It has good miles. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. So I'm gonna save it and we'll come back to it later and buy a Carfax on it. And then if the Carfax is good, we'll just copy and paste this into another tab and see what other similar ones are selling for so we know how much profit we could make on it. And we're gonna do that with every car, but first we're gonna find a whole bunch of deals, then we'll buy Carfaxes on them all, and then we'll go through and compare them all. I wonder what's up with this. 2015 for $1,600, 145,000 miles. And the description says there's nothing. It's a 5-speed. The outside looks really good. It is a manual, which I don't like as much because they're just harder to sell. Not as many people want them. But I mean, for this good of a car, for only $1,600, I'm definitely going to save it. $1,500 for a 2010 with 17,000 miles. The miles are definitely wrong. It's probably 170,000 miles. Looking over the pictures, it doesn't seem too bad, but we'll save it and we'll come back and buy a Carfax for it so we know how many miles it has on it and if it's actually a deal. All right, $1,800 for 120,000 miles. This seems great, and it's a 2012, which isn't too old. The outside looks pretty solid. The engine bay and the interior also look good. The only thing about this that's a little iffy is where the location is. Like, it's in the middle of like a destroyed area, and maybe these are other cars at a mechanic shop or something, so maybe he's a mechanic, or he flips cars, or he's a dealer. We don't know, and we'll just have to ask him about it. But if it's a good running and driving car with 120,000 miles for $1,800, that's definitely worth it, which is why I saved it, and we'll come back to it later. This one's $800, very cheap. It says visible damage, and right here there is some damage, but it's not that horrible. All that black I think will come off the light as long as it's not cracked under there. And then the bumper, it might need a new one, or you could just take off the scuffs and repaint that little section just to look 80% better. And if that's the damage he's talking about, it's really not bad at all. And I don't see anything wrong with this car. So again, we're gonna save it. I don't think these go for that much money, but we'll see how much they go for in the comparing. But I just clicked this one, and it says it runs and drives good, the transmission's good, the engine's good, the paint looks great, the headlights are a little faded, which is like literally every car. There's a little dent in the back, but who cares about that? I mean, yeah, the bumper has been repainted. You can see it's like bright blue here, and it's dark over here. Oh, it's not even a blue car, never. The only thing we don't know is the miles, and the problem is it has a handicap plate, and you can't buy Carfaxes for these plates, so we would just have to message the guy and ask him for the VIN of the car so we could buy a Carfax, which will show us the miles and anything else that might be wrong with it. Real fast, if you're getting into car flipping, I'd like to give you a free Carfax. I'll help you buy a car with hidden problems like an accident. I literally always buy them for my cars, and you'll see later on we are going to buy a whole bunch on these because it'll just help you from getting scammed. They're normally $45, but this is my gift to you, completely free. Just click the link in the description, put in your email, and I'll send it over. But back to searching, let's see what we can find. This says it only has 37,000 miles. Right here it says a down payment, and it does have 37,000 miles, which is crazy, but it's a dealer's car when they ask for a down payment. And obviously it's gonna cost more than that, which makes it not even worth it. I click on this one as well. It doesn't say the mileage in the listing at all. But looking over the car, it looks pretty clean and there doesn't look like there's any problems with it. We don't know what's up with it, what the miles are. So I'm just gonna skip over it, but cars like this sometimes are worth messaging the guy and just asking him a little bit more about the car. This looks like a pretty nice SUV. It's $3,000, which is a little high with 120,000 miles, but it's a nice car. Looking over the description, it's family owned. It looks like there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I'm not sure what these are selling for. 3,000 seems a little high. Maybe you could negotiate it down to 2,000 and then sell it for 4,000, but we'll see in the comparing phase of this video. Ooh, 130,000 miles. $1,500, and the description says it doesn't have any issues other than the transmission. That like accounts for like 20 different issues because transmissions are just so time consuming and expensive to fix. All right, around $2,000, 120,000 miles. They say there's nothing wrong with it in the description. It looks like the bumper's been repainted. Yeah, the bumper's kind of falling off here, you can see, which I don't like to see. And for the price, it's not that good of a deal. Maybe you could make a little bit of money, but we aren't gonna save it. Ooh, a Ford Focus with 90,000 miles for only $2,100. Well, that's why, because the transmission has issues, it slips and overheats. $1,300, 2014 Volkswagen Jetta. The car currently does not start and needs a new starter, or it could be engine. Like he says it could be a $100 part, or it could be a $5,000 part. Yeah, we aren't even gonna wanna deal with this. I actually saw this car in another video and I messaged him and I'll actually go buy that car as long as the guy responds back to me and everything seems good when I go in person. So I'm not gonna click it for this video, but that definitely is a good deal. What about this one? $1,200, 160,000 miles for a BMW. The description says I only have transfer title and bill of sale paperwork, which is why I assume it has paper plates. And if he doesn't have the actual title in hand, I'll never buy a car without a title because all that stuff can just be faked. And a lot of the time you won't even be able to get a title for the car, even if it's real. All right, this thing has pretty high miles, but the price is good for it. It says driver front door will not open from inside. Radiator is leaking. No lights on the dash except for the tire light. The tire light's really not a big problem. You literally have to replace the sensor or just fill the tire with air. Both of those are cheap. Yeah, and we can see the tire light there, and you can see that the engine's revving, which means it's on, which is good to see. And looking over the rest of the pictures, it doesn't look like it needs anything other than a really good detail. There is this bumper has been repainted. You can see it's a different color than the fender, and it was falling off, so it was probably crashed in the front. When we check the Carfax, we'll see if it's been in a crash. But, I mean, this car's definitely worth saving, and we'll check on it later. 100,000 miles, $2,500. Runs perfect, just needs a little body work. Check engine light is on due to sensor. I would have considered this, but it has a check engine light on. We don't actually know if it's due to a sensor, and because the price is a little high for what it is, I don't think it's going to be worth looking into anymore. All right, this car is kind of high priced. It has 112,000 miles. I just want to see if there's any problems with it, because if it's a perfect car, it might still be worth it. And it actually does look like a perfect car. It's really clean. There's just this little scrape in the back they show, but I think all of that will come off. You use a magic eraser to get most of it off, and then you polish it to clear up the paint again. So I'm going to save this, and depending on what they're reselling for, we might be able to make a profit and we might not. We'll see, I guess. All right, a 2015 Kia Soul, $3,000, a little high, but it looks pretty nice. I probably shouldn't have said it looked pretty nice until I looked at it. There's some bumper problems on the front and the rear bumper. The inside just needs a good detail. I'm gonna say 3,000 might be a little bit of a deal, but it's just a good price if someone was to buy it for their personal car. But there's not that much money to be made on it. $1,800 for a Toyota Prius, and the engine's dead, and I also realized it has 250,000 miles, which breaks our 220,000 mile limit for the video. And we have that limit just because when they have way higher miles, they just break down easier, less people want to buy them. There's a whole bunch of reasons. All right, a 2015 Ford Fusion, 118,000 miles, $2,500. The description says runs to 100. The smoke just passed, I think he means smog, and the plates are due in 2027, so they were just paid. He's selling it for travel reasons. I don't know what that means, but that means it's his personal car, which is good to see. You can see the bottom here is gone, which you'd have to replace that part. I guess you could sell it like that. And obviously the fender is a different color because it was probably crashed in the front. Looking over the rest of the car, the bumper was replaced too. This car's a little sketchy because you could tell it was in an accident in the front. For some reason, I'm feeling like this guy bought this thing from an auction. He fixed it up and now he's trying to sell it. I don't know exactly, but I'm not gonna want to buy this. This just looks like a scam. $1,000, 90,000 miles. I'm gonna click on it just to show you. Yep, it says email me. This car's been all around actually. This is just different pictures of it. But when they say email me, they're just gonna take you to email and try and steal some money from you. This one I just clicked on, it's $1,200. It was just listed. It has 150,000 miles. It says it has some issues in pictures, recently in a crash. I can definitely lower the price. And oh, we were almost gonna consider it. Even though that bumper is falling off, you still could fix that pretty easily. The problem is right here at the bottom, transmission has issues. That just makes its value like junk price, which is like $400 or something. Ooh, 87,000 miles for under $2,000. The description says tags due $160. That's nothing. And through the rest of this, it says there's nothing wrong. And looking over the pictures, the paint isn't that shiny. The seat's got a rip. All these older cars just have rips in the seat, and they aren't too hard to fix. We can see up here at the bumper, it looks like it was attached somehow, meaning it probably got into crash, but for such low miles and a pretty good price, I'm going to save that. And I think that might be a good deal. 150,000 miles, $1,900 for this Buick. The description says, muffler has a small air leak. That's not a big deal if it's actually the muffler. You can replace it, you can weld it. But the problem is right here, it has a temporary plate, and I don't even know my own state. I thought that symbol was Florida. It's California. But the plate being there means he wasn't able to get it past smog, or it's not even in his name, or there's something up with it because he couldn't get real plates for it. So we're going to keep looking. All right, someone just messaged back. They just literally copy and pasted my thing and sent it back. So I'm just going to send question mark. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Let's find a couple more deals, and then we're going to start buying Carfaxes and comparing these cars. Oh. They just messaged back. Hold on. Let me go back to that. The engine is used and it makes the car tremble a little. This could just be engine mounts. I'm not sure exactly, but just because of that, I'm too lazy to go see it in person and check out what it actually is. So I'm not really going to want to go buy this car. All right, a 2013 Ford Focus, 98,000 miles, $3,000. It says the battery died, but it sat for a month and now it's going to need a tow. These cars where the battery just dies, it's not that big of a problem. I can just bring a battery for the car and replace it. And if it works, then we're good to go. And if it doesn't work, then they're lying and it's got more problems. I just noticed right here, you can see there's writing all over the windshield. And if you click on right here, it says 98,000 miles. So this thing was definitely bought from an auction. So it's not going to be a good deal. So here's our cars we found. There's 10 total potential deals. We're going to buy Carfaxes for them and probably end up only having 5. And then we're going to take those 5 and compare them with other cars to see what they're worth, if they're actually deals, and if the profit's big enough to buy them and make enough money safely without being scared we're going to lose money. Let's just start with this first car. And all I'm going to do is take this and copy and paste it and put it in a new tab. In a new tab, it seems like they're going anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000, but a lot of them are going for around 2,000, which makes sense. And ours is 1,500, so there won't be that much to make on it. And we don't know that much details about it because there's no pictures, hardly any description. So we're going to unsave this and look at the rest. All right, a Buick. Let's put this in a new tab. And the Buicks seem to be going from around $2,000 to $3,000. There's some that are higher, but you can see this is the 2015 and this is ours, which is 2005. Yeah, they seem to be going 2,500 would be a safe bet what we'd get for this car. Let me just look over it one more time. Is there any problems with it? I mean, yeah, it looks great. The only thing is the registration's 1 year back, so you're gonna have to pay maybe $200 to get it up to date. But other than that, this car would make us about $1,000 profit without really doing anything. You just buy it, list it for sale, and in a week or two, it'll just sell. This thing, I'll say, yeah, it's a deal, but it's nothing crazy. All right, let's take this Chevy Cruze and see what they're going for. Yeah, it seems like they're going from $2,000 to $4,000. So $3,500, honestly, if it was fixed up and perfect, would be a great deal for someone wanting to buy it. I mean, not a great deal, but it'd be average for someone wanting to buy it. All these scuffs will come off. You just magic eraser them. They're all gone. The paint looks good. There's really no problems. It'll look brand new after cleaning it up a little bit. So right here is a $1,500 profit, no problem. Maybe even more. By the way, I forgot to mention these two I couldn't buy Carfaxes for because the plates weren't showing. So if they show the plates, I'll buy a Carfax. And if they don't, we'll just trust it's good. But if I actually end up buying it, I'll obviously get a Carfax before. I'll ask them for the plate number or the VIN number of the car. This one doesn't show the plate either, so we're just going to compare it with some other ones. All right, ones like this, it's way too high of a gear. That's not what ours is. Ours is a 2010. But it seems like they're going for easily 3,000 all day. Maybe a little less if they're beat up. But this one actually looks pretty good. The only thing is we don't know the miles and we can't see the plate, so we can't buy a Carfax. So I'm going to unsave this. And unsaving that one. one, we're gonna go on to this Nissan Versa. And right away, there's the plate, so let me buy a Carfax real quick. Here's the Carfax, and just at the top, if there's a huge thing wrong with it, it'll just be red all over and you'll notice. But what I did notice right away is it says 95,000 miles, but if we go back to the listing, they listed at 120,000 miles, which is a bit weird. Like, why would they not say it has that many lower miles? But let me just scroll through the Carfax. A lot of this doesn't matter as much on these cheaper cars. And what I noticed right here with the last owner, they purchased it in 2021, which is totally fine. And then right here, the last record says correction to record, which I assume is relating to the loan they had on the title. So hopefully they got a loan, they paid it off, and now they're willing to sell the car. But you'd have to make sure 100% this car has no loans on it, because you don't want to buy it and then try and register it and there's all sorts of loans on it. But it looked like they were paid off. We're not 100% sure until we see the title. Let's just go right away and take this and compare it with other ones to see what our profit could be. Nice, it looks pretty good. They're up to $3,000, I would say, is a safe bet what ours would sell for. And we probably could negotiate it down at least to $1,500, hopefully for $1,000. So that's a $2,000, $1,500 profit around there. What about this Chevy HHR? License plate in this picture is barely not readable, which is unfortunate. So I'm just gonna compare it with some other cars. And yeah, obviously you can see ours is super cheap, but they're going for maybe $2,000 max if they're fixed up. Yeah, there's some higher priced ones, but those people are kind of just crazy. So right here's a $1,200 profit. Obviously, if you can negotiate it down, you can make even more. And let's check out these last two cars. It shows the license plate right here, and I just read it's the grandma's car. That's why it's so clean. Right away, the miles are the same as the listing, which obviously is good to see. They aren't lying, they aren't wrong. And looking over this car, it looks like it had good records. And yeah, it just passed emissions, which is what they said. It's always been serviced by dealers, so this is a really clean car. It's a little bit of a high price, but let's see what they're selling for. Yeah, right here you can see they're going from $2,000 to maximum $4,000 on this. So there's not that much money to be made, but this car is so clean. Someone that actually wants a clean car or a really nice car would pay more for this car. It's just a problem of finding that person, and it might take 2 weeks of listing this to get $4,000 for it. So you could try to tell them that and get it for $2,500. Around $2,500, I would buy this car, but anything more, it's not going to be worth it. And our last one right here. Do they show the license plate? It's barely shown right there, but we can't read it, so let's just compare it with some other ones. And within 100 miles, there's none of these for sale, which is crazy. We could go over to Craigslist and check there to see if there's any there for sale. This thing, just out of my guess, I'd say you could make $1,000 profit on it. So here are all our deals where we can make $1,000 to $3,000 profit on some of them. But what we said at the beginning of the video is that we're trying to find the cheapest possible deal. So right here, I would say this one, it's $800. And here's one for $1,350, which is also pretty cheap. And you probably could negotiate them down even more. But some of the other ones in here would make more profit. So I'd honestly go with those. Now that you know how to find a cheap car, you're gonna need to learn how to make a huge profit on it when flipping it. So check out this video where I show you how to increase your profit. And as always, I'm wishing you a lucky day.